Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing this very summer soft glam look right here. It is super light, super neutral. My skin is breathing. Honestly, it feels really good. So if you want to see how we achieved this look right here, make sure to keep on watching and please don't forget to subscribe. I do upload 3 times a week and that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. As always, I will link everything down below in the description box. So if you're interested in any of the products, you can check them up down there and I will stop rambling. Let's jump right into the video. Alright, so my lids are already primed and I did just take some of my Pores Be Gone mattifying primer from First Aid Beauty. Now I'm going to be going into the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. Whenever I'm going for soft glam, I want everything to be like super gentle, super soft. So I definitely do want a thinner layer on top of the skin. So I will start with my concealer and then basically build my foundation around it. If I'm going for like full beat everything, I will typically do foundation first. However, for me, if I'm going to spend all of this time wanting it to look like normal me, lightweight, and I'm layering foundation, concealer, powder, it just becomes so heavy. So I want as few layers of product on the skin as possible. Then I'm going to take a very small amount of a lighter concealer. This is C11 from Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And I'm just adding, you see, like a tiny amount. This is just to add a touch of brightness. I did start with that L'Oreal concealer because it is basically like my foundation shade in a concealer, so it's going to even everything out and allow me to go in with much less product. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder, which is a baked formula and super lightweight. And I'm going to use this to basically just set down wherever we put the concealer. This powder is like a Facetune filter in a bottle, or in a compact, I guess. And then I'm going to grab my Studio Fix powder from MAC, which is a powder foundation. And I'm going to be taking this on the rest of the face. Rather than going in with a liquid foundation, I'm just going to take a powder. And you see how that basically just canceled everything out? This is a full coverage powder foundation. So it's going to be a lot more lightweight on top of the skin. It's going to be great for someone like me with oily skin, where I want this to last all day long, especially in the summer. And you see how all of the skin basically looks like it is fully full coverage and foundationed, but it is so lightweight, like it's not sitting on top of the skin. You can see that it is one with the skin. And then just because that Micro Smooth Powder is more of a flawless finish and the Studio Fix is a little more heavy, I'm going to take a touch more of the Sephora powder and just lightly pat that over that MAC powder, just so that we get that even, radiant finish everywhere. It looks like skin. It's a little glowy. It's perfect. Now, because the skin does not look like super full coverage, it's definitely one of those days where we can get away with a little bit of a lighter bronzy contour. So I'm going to grab my OG favorite, my Marc Jacobs Tantastic Bronzer. And with a little bit on my brush, I'm just going to lightly hit up the perimeters of the face. And I've mentioned this a million times, my favorite shade to contour the nose is the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. And again, this was like a travel size from Sephora that was like a point perk. And since it is so small, it's perfect. I don't love this bronzer on the cheeks, so it's not something I need a full size of. However, it is definitely something I love for the nose, and it is so nice to have in such a small version, especially for like traveling and going out. See how that's just like the perfect tone? I'm going to take that same shade into the crease of the eye as my transition shade because of how minimal I want to go with the eyes today. I really just want a little definition in the socket. Next, moving on to blush. I have been using the Alamar medium palette on my channel basically for like 2 months straight. This is the light one. When I'm going like full beat, full glam, and I have full coverage on, I like to go in with the medium because it does help me with the skin a little bit. But when I have a lot less going on, I do want a little bit more of a subtle tone. So I'm going to be taking predominantly Paraíso, the more rosy of the shades, and I'm just going to build that up a little bit on the cheeks. And a touch down the bridge of the nose. And then taking just a touch of Scorcher, which is a little more coral, I'm going to add a very small amount to the upper cheek. I'm not taking it quite as low as I did with Paraíso. I'm really focusing it in the center of the cheek so that when you're looking up, you get that flushed pink, but when the face turns, you get a little bit more warmth. I'm going to go quickly throw on a quick brow, and I'll be right back. So for my quick brow, I just took a tiny bit of a tinted brow gel from Milk. It's my Cush brow I always use. As always, I will link everything down below. And for the eyes, I don't even know what I want to do. I kind of like this Barely There soft glam, but I do want a little bit of glow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a cheek brush. This is from Stila. It is the Silver Lake highlighter. It's basically the Fenty Diamond Cheek. What's your son? No, wrong one. The Fenty How Many Carats in a smaller version. And this actually came out first. So I'm going to just add a little bit of that soft, wet sparkle to the cheek. And you see how that just looks glowy? It doesn't really look highlighted. I'm going to take that same shade over the lid of the eye. See how it just makes everything look wet and glossy? That's what we're going for today. On that same highlighter brush, I'm just going to take a touch more of the blush and just build that into the apple of the cheek so that you still get that pinky tone in the highlighter and it doesn't get quite so frosty. There we go. Taking that same bronzer I used in the crease, I'm going to run a tiny bit down the lower lash line. Does not need to be super precise. This is just to kind of frame the eye. Grabbing some of my Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder. This is in Cocoa Bling, which is a super frosty shade. I'm going to just add some to the inner corner. So I have not decided yet if I just want to do mascara or if I want to throw on a light lash. It definitely is up to personal preference. So based on what I have going on today, I mean, you guys know I'm pretty quick to throw a lash on pretty much anything. I am taking the Dior Pump and Volume Mascara I used in my last full face of First Impressions. Yeah, I'm just going to tie up the mascara and I'll be right back. I'm not doing a lash today. I had to pop back in before I finished the eyes. This is one coat of mascara. Do you guys see how awesome this mascara is? Like, one little coat, that's it. All right, I'm going to go finish this up and I'll be right back. I just felt you needed to see what one coat with this mascara can do. So I am back. I am loving what this mascara is doing. I'm going to grab a tiny bit of a black liner. This one is the Makeup Geek Full Spectrum. And I'm not putting it on the entire eye. I'm literally just taking it right in the outer portion. Right there. And I am going to blend that out a little bit. The reason for that, this is something I typically only do when I have falsies on. But my lashes look so good today that I felt like I needed to do this little step. And grabbing a pencil brush, I'm just going to lightly smoke that towards the center of the eye. Just like that. You see how that just softens, rounds the eye, and makes the lashes look a little bit softer in contrast. Now, if you're fairer or your skin is, not skin, I'm sorry. If you're fairer or your hair is lighter, you could just go in with a brown mascara, maybe even a blue mascara. But because my hair, especially around here, is so dark, I can't really pull that off, so I do try to make sure that to get that effect, I just wrap my liner and make it a little bit better that way. So I am going to take a touch of the Seclusion blush from the medium blush palette because I do feel like, because I went so light coverage, the rosy tone in my skin is coming out a little bit more than I wanted to today. So I'm going to take a little bit of this really beautiful tangerine blush and just use that to de-pink the cheeks. Last thing I'm going to do on the face before I throw on a lip and call this it, I'm going to grab my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finishing Powder. This one is brand new. And I'm going to take a touch of this just on the under eye, the nose, basically where I want to kind of re-intensify not the bronzer or blush. So really where I just put that concealer earlier is we're just going to use this powder just to kind of clean everything up. Grabbing my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, we're just going to lock all of this in place. And as you guys know, while the setting spray is still a little damp, I do like to grab my Beauty Blender and just gently pat that moisture into the skin. That's what's just going to help make sure that this lasts all day long, even in the intense summer heat. For lips, I did mention this in my last month's favorite. The Jaclyn Hill lipstick in Perfectionist has been like my current go-to nude. I know there's a lot of drama and tea going around with these lipsticks. I will link my video up here as to what I think of them and why I'm still using it. And that is the finished look. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my summer soft glam look. If this was something you were... No, that's the intro. I was going to say if this is something you're into, keep on watching. But you already watched the whole video. Thank you guys again. I will see you next time. Bye.